Today we're going to see if these MCo Beauty lookalikes are a good dupe for the original products. Before I delve into the comparisons, I do want to address the controversy surrounding MCo Beauty really briefly. MCo Beauty is an Australian brand that used to be called Model Co and was rebranded a few years ago. I believe as of today that I'm filming this, MCo Beauty has been purchased by another company. MCo Beauty has been sued by Tarte and ChemCorp for copying products. Some people think that we should boycott this company because what they're doing isn't ethical or moral, whereas other people feel that beauty companies in general create an artificial need for us to buy their products, and beauty companies copy each other anyway, so what's the big deal? There are definitely more points to each side of this argument, and I can definitely see both sides, but as a consumer, I feel like there's no correct way to consume. If you want to buy a cheaper alternative to make your skin shiny, then I think you should do you. But if you want to pay for the original product because you want to support the company that put the time and resources into developing this product, then I think that's completely valid as well. I understand both sides of the argument. My parents are immigrants. They didn't grow up with much, but they made sure that I grew up with more than enough. I do understand that there is a privilege in being able to consciously consume, so I think that you should make your decisions based on your values and your situation. I feel like I provide a unique perspective in beauty products because I don't rely on making these videos as an income. I have my own career, and if you want to know more about me, then I will talk about myself at the end. The first products that I want to compare are the niacinamide dewdrops, and I do think that the MCo version is a good dupe for the Glow Recipe version. They share a lot of ingredients together, and on the skin they apply really similarly. The MCo Beauty version is slightly more watery, so you do need to wait a little bit longer before you layer on your next makeup products. I can't comment on the skincare benefits of these niacinamide dewdrops because I didn't find that they worked very well for me. I do already have a regular niacinamide in my skincare routine that is fragrance free, which is what I prefer. The second set of products that I want to compare is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. The bottle looks so similar, and to be honest, on the face they look really similar as well. When I wore one version on one side of my face and the other version on the other side of my face, my friends couldn't tell that I was wearing two different products. I have both in shade 2.5 and the color is a little bit different, but when applied on your face, you can barely tell that they are a different product. The MCo version is slightly more shimmery than the Charlotte Tilbury version, and I think that's a common theme with these MCo Beauty products. Next up are the contour sticks, and I don't think that this is a good dupe. The MCo Beauty version is a lot warmer, so I wouldn't really call it a contour. I'd call it a bronzer, which is what it has advertised anyway. The MCo Beauty version is a lot creamier than the Charlotte Tilbury version. The Charlotte Tilbury contour wand is a lot cooler and stays on a little bit better. You do need to blend it in a little bit quicker. I think these jelly cheek tints are a good dupe of each other. They do share a lot of ingredients together. The MCo Beauty version has a deeper and more pigmented color than the Milk Makeup version. I personally think that this is a little bit gimmicky. They do make a mess on my counter, so I don't really reach for them. I'm so lazy with my makeup, and I really don't like makeup that creates more of a mess that I have to clean up because who has time for that? I like applying this with a brush, and I prefer using them on no makeup days where I don't have very much foundation and I just want a light tint on my cheeks. MCo Beauty did copy the Drunk Elephant Rosy drops. I think they did a good job because you are going to get a very similar effect to the Drunk Elephant version. The Drunk Elephant color isn't as pigmented, so it is a little bit easier to use than the MCo version, but the texture, the shine is all really similar. They also share a lot of the same ingredients together. The Glossier Cloud Paint Package Dupe, in my opinion, is not a good dupe for the Cloud Paint liquid blush. The texture is completely different. The MCo version is a lot shinier because it is designed to go on your lips as well. I feel like it's neither a good cheek product nor is it a good lip product. So if you're choosing between the two, I would get the Glossier version. I think the cream blush sticks are a good dupe of each other, though the Westman Atelier one doesn't drag as much when you're applying it on your skin. Depending on the foundation, they both can move the foundation underneath just a little bit. So my preference with applying these is actually to apply it on the back of my hand, really use a brush to apply these. I feel like the Westman Atelier one does glide on a little bit better, though the colors are different. With the MCo Beauty lip pencils, I don't think they are a good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury ones because the texture is a little bit different, the ingredients are very different, and the longevity, the durability of them, I think is not the same as the Charlotte Tilbury version. The Charlotte Tilbury version lasts much longer on my lips than the MCo Beauty version. With the Summer Friday lip gloss dupe, I do prefer the original version because I like the smell better and the consistency better. They do share a lot of the same ingredients and they do look similar on the lips. I do think the MCo version is slightly a little bit patchier than the Summer Fridays version. The smell of the Summer Fridays version to me is a lot more pleasant. It doesn't smell as artificial or as sour as the MCo Beauty version. With regards to this MCo Beauty peptide lip treatment, people said that this one smelt worse compared to the other versions that MCo Beauty makes. The finishing powders do share some ingredients together, but when applied on my skin, especially using a powder puff, you can definitely tell which one is which. The MCo Beauty version feels like it has more talc. It is a little bit more white and powdery compared to the Charlotte Tilbury version. The MCo Beauty version feels like a loose setting powder that is pressed, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury powder feels like a nice finishing powder. They do share a lot of their main ingredients together, and to be honest, if you apply it with a brush just really loosely, you probably wouldn't be able to tell a difference, but I do prefer the Charlotte Tilbury one better. With the lip sleeping masks, I do not like the MCo version. I like the Laneige one a lot better because it applies a lot more creamier, a lot more smoother, and a little bit more oilier compared to the MCo version. The MCo version just feels like chunky Vaseline on my lips compared to the Laneige version. The Laneige texture and consistency I think is a lot more sophisticated than the MCo Beauty version. This is the MCo Beauty version of the Goldie Drops that Drunk Elephant makes, and I do think it is a good dupe for the Drunk Elephant version, though the MCo version is a little bit more shimmery, but under makeup or mixed in with serums, I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference between the two. I personally don't reach for these type of products very often just because I have large pores already and I am pretty oily. It is summer right now. It is very hot. I'm naturally very oily and I look shiny throughout the day without the need of more shine. I don't have a full-size version of the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops because I do think that they are so expensive. Comparing it to the travel size version that I have, I think that the MCo Beauty version is not a dupe for the Drunk Elephant one. It's a lot more golden compared to the bronziness of the Drunk Elephant one. I think the colors are very different, and I think that if you are looking for the Drunk Elephant version, unfortunately, you may have to pay the price tag. They do share similar ingredients together, but the color is just so different that I feel like if you mix it in with your products, unless you use a tiny little bit, you are going to notice a difference between the two. The MCo Beauty version of the Dior Rosy Glow blush is different. The MCo Beauty version is a lot more matte. The Dior version feels a lot less powdery and it is really hard to swatch, but when you do apply it with the brush in layers, it does look really beautiful. The MCo Beauty version feels like any other powder blush to me. I think the color is similar, but they don't apply the same, they don't look the same, and I don't think it is a good product dupe. Last on our list most are the setting sprays, and actually the MCo Beauty setting spray did surprise me. They do share a lot of ingredients together, and when I tested with eyeshadow, the MCo Beauty version did actually hold up. The Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and the Urban Decay setting spray are kind of like my gold standards. They work so well, and I like to compare other setting sprays to those. And I think this MCo Beauty version is a good dupe. To be honest, I think it might even be better than the Milani setting spray, but I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury one is still my favorite. So out of the two, I'd still reach for the Charlotte Tilbury one. So that's the end of my product comparisons. To summarize, I think that the Flawless Filter is a good dupe. I think that the jelly tints are also a good dupe. And I think the setting sprays are maybe a 70% good dupe. I also think that the golden drops are pretty similar, though the MCo Beauty version is slightly more shimmery than the Drunk Elephant version. Other than that, I don't think that the products compare to the originals, and to be honest, I would still reach for the originals over the MCo Beauty version. Though something that I do use quite often from MCo Beauty is actually an original. It's their mascara. It's the Extend Lash Mascara, and it's not a dupe for anything else that I know of. It's not a packaged dupe, at least. It's a tubing mascara that doesn't smudge very easily on my oily eyelids and skin compared to other tubing mascaras. However, it doesn't hold the eyelash curl very well, so it is good if you have pre-curled and permed your eyelashes or are using an electric eyelash heater. So if you've stayed to the very end, then you might be curious to know a little bit more about me. I am a dentist. I have worked 4 years full-time as a general dentist, and this year I have decided to go back to school full-time to study and specialize in orthodontics, which is the specialty within dentistry where we move teeth. I relocated cities, so I moved 1,300 kilometers away from my original city, which is about 830 miles. I really like analyzing faces, and I am inherently interested in beauty and the way that people look. So I think it is a privilege to be able to help somebody move their teeth into a more aesthetic position that might give them a bit more confidence. I also got married this year, and for Anna who is watching, these are some photos and videos of my wedding. While I study full-time, I still will be working part-time just to supplement my cash flow. And that's it. I hope you found this video somewhat entertaining or useful. Thank you so much for watching.